What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video where we've got to talk about it. We have got to talk about the Division 2 Year 8. What an absolute insane stream, and I don't think anybody guessed what was coming. The game director, Alex, was right. We wasn't ready. It was absolutely incredible. In fact, at one point, I almost fell off my chair because I got so excited. So let's get into the stream. We won't talk about the 10-year kind of anniversary bit that he's talking about. We're not going to talk about the anniversary stream. We're not going to talk about the anniversary season. I've already covered that in another video, and I'll keep Resurgence for its own video as well at some point tomorrow. But this was a very cool moment that they started off in. I don't know where this room is, if they did it especially for this video or whatever, if maybe it was in the old studio, maybe they've still got access or something, I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of cool to see Magnus there, where they talked about pressing the button and Division, the original Division, went live and everybody just played. There was no drop-offs, everybody loved it, and yeah, I mean, it was probably a very, very special moment, and I would love to hear some more moments and stories like that. But what we need to do is take a very quick note here from Alex that we got a major visual upgrade in the game. You might have noticed when you logged in. I thought it was just because I was in realism mode and they put like a filter on realism, but as you can see here, things look way better. It's a significant upgrade. How they've done it, I do not know. It's like magic, because my system resources have stayed the same. The game doesn't seem any more taxing than what it was previously or anything like that. So that's great. And that's been across all platforms. So that was a great bit of news to start off the stream with. So the next part was they moved on to talk about the road ahead for the Division 2. Now, this was kind of in two segments. This was the pre-recorded segment, we could say, but then there is actually a live stream segment just afterwards, which will wrap up that as well as this. But they basically talked about new seasons coming in April. With the first season there, you just saw it. Yes, Rise Up, with the very cool looking logo. But what was important to take from this is that they talked about adding much more powerful content. They didn't go into any specifics about what that is, but they said it's ambitious, and yeah, they want to provide for, you know, long-term players. Then they talked about the craze. I mean, it's flipping fast, so fast. There was so much that they went, but then they talked about revamping PvP, which was cool, that people have been wanting that for such a long time. So that was great. And then, out of nowhere, they dropped that we're going to be getting crossplay. You heard me right. Crossplay across all platforms is coming to the Division 2, which is just incredible after 10 years. And then Yannick talked about we're going to be getting a return of some old content, but new versions of it. Classified missions. Classifieds are making a comeback with Year 8 Season 1. As you can see there, there's some artwork from them. So yeah, that sounds really cool, and it's great that they're returning. Then there was this huge announcement, and I thought this really would be the end, but it wasn't. They talked about adding a brand new Incursion. Yep, a brand new Incursion is coming to the Division 2 later this year. And don't forget, everything I'm talking about now is coming in 2026. So Steel Creek is going to be the new Incursion. That is great. We got a little update about Survivors. We get a bit more of an update in the post-show as well. We got a new screenshot there that we'd not seen before. But yeah, that was pretty much it. It's kind of give us the overview of what it is. You can, you know, enemy factions, other agents, which was great to see. And at this point, I was probably falling off my chair. But it just talks about all the survival things that we know and love from the original game and how it's going to come to the new game. And we got a small clip of the creators there. We saw Charles in the background, who got to visit the studio last week. That was obviously amazing, and I can't wait to hear more from them about that. And then they played this clip that you're seeing right now, where a Division agent's watch goes out. He looks like, he or she look like they've been bruised and battered. They look in a pretty bad state. That hand does not look good. And there's obviously a hovering presence over the top of it for the new DLC. And it's coming in 2026. And that does make me wonder if Survivors will go into 2027, with that being such an important milestone in the series. But that is a lot coming just this year. The visual upgrade, the anniversary season, year 8 season 1, some kind of new and hard content, crossplay, a new incursion, a new DLC. They were not wrong. They have been cooking, and to be honest, I wasn't ready. I was definitely not expecting an incursion and a DLC to be dropping at the same time. Then they went on to talk about Resurgence. Again, we got some cool clips here from there's your main man, nothing but skills. But they went on to talk about the mobile game. You can see Charles blurred out in the background here. I don't think we see, is that Pure Prime? There is a shot at some point a little bit later on where we get to see Pure Prime and Rogue Gold as well. But yeah, that was Resurgence. But like I said, I'll cover this in another video by itself tomorrow. This is a great place to pause the stream so you can see that the anniversary season starts today. Warlords of New York is for the realism mode, but they've made Warlords free for the anniversary season, so you do not have to own it. And that means you can do realism or the actual in-game as it was originally intended version as well. We've got the graphical upgrade and more, but then the road ahead, expanded crossplay across consoles and PC, new incursion, new classifies, new DLC located in Central Park coming in 2026 and more. And then we got the release date for Resurgence. That's cheating a little bit because I've already said I'm going to cover that in another video for March the 31st. So not long to wait for that. So then we went into the post show where they showed rewards that are in your mailbox right now if you want to pick them up. But Yannick was also wearing the hoodie. Super, super jealous. But yeah, you've got some free rewards in your mailbox right now. Then they talked about Twitch drops, which hopefully you got them with me today. If not, you'll be able to get them with me tomorrow. But the Phoenix weapon skin and the Failout backpack trophy and the Tommy the Teddy arm patch are absolutely insane. Love to see it. We got this great photo here of all of the apparel you can pick up in the free and premium passes. So that was pretty cool to see, including the big Alejandro is back from the Division 1. Yannick then went on to talk about realism and how they wanted to bring a brand new Division style experience for them to kind of play with a little bit, but it's limited. And the reason that it is limited is because once you've completed it, there is nothing else to do. You have done it. And, you know, for that reason, they felt that it was good for it to be a limited time event. They then went over the visual upgrade again, which again is pretty clear to see how good that actually is. And then with the new global events that we've got that are Division 1 themed, there are the returning Division 1 masks as rewards for taking part in these global events, which is very, very cool. There is also another one in the store that comes with a premium credit purchase if you want to get even more of these masks. Next, they talk about Rise Up, Year 8, Season 1, and the fact that they are making improvements to Retaliation. And yes, we are getting the Black Tusk. They are coming to Retaliation. Next, we had the very cryptic message from Yannick where they said that Rise Up is going to be the season that is for the players that have completed absolutely everything in the game. And this is going to be the game season to throw a punch back to say, listen, look, I am tough when I need to be. But to combat that, Yannick did also say that we're going to be getting a new level of power as well. So yeah, sounds like harder content, new, better gear than potentially what we've got now. It was cryptic, but I'm very happy to see that harder content is potentially coming to the game next season. And don't forget, it's only 4 weeks away. They then started to talk about PvP and did just kind of slide in a pretty interesting comment in saying that now that the game is successful, they're able to build a big enough team so that they can look at PvP, because they just haven't had the team to be able to do it, and that they're hiring people to just look at PvP. But I think that was a very important tagline that he said at the beginning of that now that the game is successful. So yeah, it literally sounds like it means infinite possibilities for the Division 2. But he did say the PvP would be in stages. He talked a little bit about cheaters. You know, they've got to fix things in a lot of places, and it'll take a lot of steps to get to where it needs to be. And then they talked about crossplay and how much it's been needed and wanted for such a long time, but they just said that it is coming later in the year. They next talked about the classifieds and how they'll be in the similar vein to the classifieds we already have, combat/investigation style missions, which is pretty cool. And don't forget, that's more teleport points for you on your map. Then they mentioned the Incursion and about it obviously being a difficult level of content. Steel Creek is its name. So yeah, cannot wait for this, but they didn't give any other details apart from that it's going to be difficult. And then again, they've replayed the teaser from the DLC. And somebody in the comments went, oh, look, it's zombies. And Yannick put them straight very quickly that we are not a zombie franchise. So yeah, just a very short teaser. But we do know now that this is going to be Central Park. But what was interesting about this was that literally as they finished the last DLC, Yannick said, let's put the band back together and do another one. So it was that successful. I just don't think the team has stopped, and they've literally just gone from creating the Brooklyn DLC straight into creating this new Central Park DLC. Next, Magnus came on and they didn't really say anything. I don't really feel like they gave us much of an update for Survivors. But in fairness to them, they gave us a lot of updates and everything else. It was nice to see Magnus. They did talk a little bit about speculation throughout the community. They talked about Survive Fest stats and how great the feedback has been that they've got from the community. And then they also talked about the visiting people, content creators and ETF members that got to go last week and how useful that information was, and that there'll be more tests coming up. But yeah, there wasn't really anything kind of given in the way of an update or what it actually even is yet. But yeah, nice to see that Magnus is back around. He's no longer sick as he was at the end of last year, and that hopefully good progress is being made. Here is the picture of, I assume, all of the visiting agents that got to go to Massive last week, along with staff from Resurgence and the Division 2 team. Obviously, we can see very popular faces here that we know. We've just seen Magnus there on the stream. We've got Yannick there as well. Daria is hidden over here as well. But then in these shots, different from the ones that we got before, we have got Mr. Rogue Gold there as well. We've got Charles here in the middle, nothing but skills. Mr. Orion Stark, who plays TDR, and Mr. Pure Prime here. Look at him, what a legend he is with a smile there. He was obviously very happy to be there. One thing that Magnus did mention though is that even though it was a very early version of the build that they got to play, there was no real onboarding or anything like that. but it was clear to him that he needed to make the experience harder. So that is, yeah, I mean, already good feedback, right, from these guys. That's obviously pretty great to hear. But just before we get to the end of the video, a couple of interesting things here that were mentioned just at the end. That loot locations are randomized and the map is kind of different every time you go in. Not every area will be accessible. So there's obviously a lot of randomization going on. There's obviously a lot of map randomization going on, which I think is great because it will add to replayability, and that's going to be extremely important when it comes to a game mode like this. We then flip back over to the Resurgence team where we got to see some Dark Zone gameplay. But as I've already said a couple of times in this video, this will get covered in its own video at some point tomorrow. And that was it. We got a final screen of the full band that have been doing the stream. But yeah, that was it. That was everything from the live today. It was crazy. I lost my voice at one point, but we're getting a DLC. We're getting crossplay, we're getting an incursion, we're getting harder content, and we're even getting a PvP revamp. Absolutely insane. But that's going to be it for the videos, agents. I am so tired. I need to go to bed. I'm losing my words. But don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what your favourite thing was from the Division 10th anniversary today. We got so much announcement wise, more than I think we've ever had before in 10 years of the game. So let me know what your favorite bit was, and I look forward to replying to you all in the comments. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.